Afternoon, everybody. It is 1 o'clock on a Tuesday, 1 o'clock GMT. For those of you who are watching the hashtag replay, do a hashtag replay because we are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors, and coaches to build a portfolio business on your terms. I am Helena.
And I'm Kelly.
And we've got the lovely Liam with us, but I won't actually let him introduce himself right now. We're just going to let you come on board and tell us a little bit about the buzz in your business. Now, if you are someone who is watching this later on, that doesn't mean you can't do the buzz in your business. So here we go. So to get you started, we are going to start with the buzz in your business because we are actually talking about how to launch your online course today. So before we get to that, we really do want to know what's exciting, what's intriguing, what's happening. What have you gone for? What have you done? Something that is exciting about your business that isn't just the boring, usual, oh, my business is fine, because we don't like that around here. You're speakers, authors, and coaches. You've always got something exciting going on. So for Kelly and I, that is, it's massive. We're putting the finishing touches to our Grow Your Group Challenge. It starts on the 1st of March. So that's a date for your diary, you know, one of those little stick it on a fridge magnet and off you go, which is really good. So
Grow Your Group is how to grow your Facebook group. And it's a 5-day challenge happening on the 1st of March. So we will be putting opt-ins out in the hub. If you're not in the hub, come and join us in the Connection Hub. It's the place to be. And there's also where you're going to connect with people like Liam,
which is really, really exciting. Now, the one thing I am going to say is that I am doing this. I am going to be taking care of the people who are watching through Speaker Insight, through the Speaker Insight Facebook page. I'm going to be taking care of you and actually just saying hello to all of you. Kelly is going to be looking at the comments that are coming through from the Connection Hub. So seriously, if you aren't a member inside the Connection Hub, that's actually where all the conversations take place. Please do come and join us in there. It's a fun place to be, and you'll learn a whole bunch of stuff. So
and we're 500 members away from 10,000 people in that group.
I know, which is really, really cool, and all organic as well. So that's kind of why we're doing the challenge around Grow Your Facebook group, because we've got a couple of tricks up our sleeves. So we'll leave that one for the moment being. We are talking all about how to launch your online course today, but before Liam gets into all of that and we quiz him in all sorts of ways, what's the buzz in your business, Liam?
Well, Kelly, Helena, thank you very much for inviting me onto this live. I really do appreciate it. And I have to say, I'm loving these intros. I'm loving the animations. I'm loving the overlays. You guys are teaching me about StreamYard, which I didn't know about, which is quite amazing. So I appreciate that first and foremost. Buzz in my business. Can I very quickly tell you about a buzz that's going on in my personal life first?
Of course. Which is, we think we know what it might be.
Posey by any chance?
As we've just been chatting before, I have just become a dad, which I am super excited about, to my gorgeous little baby girl, Posey. Posey Collins was born on the 2nd of December. So that's a buzz in my personal life, which I'm super excited about.
Because she sleeps at night, right? So you actually do get some sleep.
He's got energy. He's got energy.
I've got energy. It's not even coffee fueled, which is just absolutely bizarre. I'm actually getting sleep at night, which is amazing because my daughter sleeps. But so to answer your question, guys, the buzz in my business at the moment, something that we're very, very excited about. So me and my 2 business partners, Lewis and Johnny, the other founders of the Coaching Masters, we are actually on the verge of delivering 3 days of completely free training, which is all about how to launch that profitable online course. And I believe there's a link somewhere, Kelly, isn't there? There's a link somewhere that you can click on.
It's in the comments.
So we're buzzed about that. We're buzzed. It's actually this time next week, quite interestingly. Yeah. So exactly this time next week. It's next Tuesday. It starts on the 23rd, 24th, 25th. And we are buzzing about that free training. I can't wait.
And Carolyn here, one of Carolyn's buzzes is that her online course is ready to launch, scoping out another couple of books using book proposal template that we gave her. But Carolyn, register for this free training now. This is like what you need to do to get on. And she's also wants to do the 5-day.
I was going to say, so she'll be in challenge land for the next little while.
Amazing.
Carolyn, she's just been on. She's literally on. Every time I speak to Carolyn, she's on breakfast television. She's in the Daily Mail. She's on, her book's just launched, and it's just awesome. So she's PRing herself out, but we will look like you're going to be challenges all over the place, Carolyn.
I'm gonna throw Carolyn some love hearts. Throwing you some love hearts, Carolyn. There you go. They're all coming your way. Chucking them your way.
Totally love it. So let's actually have you. Yeah, I know you just mentioned Lewis and Johnny, but let's do this one before you actively kind of go into the nitty gritties of all of the things around launching. Who are you? What's your background? And this is an interesting one for all of you out there. Who are you? What's your background? And how do you specifically work with speakers, authors, and trainers?
Sure. My background is that I used to have quite a successful acting career. And when I was 19, I made the decision I wanted to be an actor. I'd never acted a day in my life. I didn't know anyone that was an actor. I didn't have any family members that was an actor. And I sort of toddled down to my local amateur theatre and I was like, look, I've never done this before, but I want to give this a shot. And I ended up auditioning for a play, and then I did another play, and then I started doing some TV, then I did some films, then I went to drama school, and eventually I got to the point where I was body doubling for Tom Hardy in the Batman film. So I was Bane, right?
You've shared the stage with quite some significant people. Like, you can name drop if you want.
Do I have permission? Because I tell you what, I do love a good name drop. So I tell you, this one film that I did, right? This one Batman was massive for me because I was 21 years old. And I'm standing up there on set. There's Tom Hardy, Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, Anne Hathaway. It was like the creme de la creme of the acting royalty. And I was like, this is it. I've made it. I've done it. I'm famous, Mom. I'm famous. And then after that, I did this cool film with Benedict Cumberbatch. We had like a cool fight scene. And I did another film and another TV series. And out of nowhere, it completely disappeared. Wow. It fully dried up. My agent stopped calling. There was no more jobs. There was no way of paying my rent. I didn't know how to pay my bills. And I was like, if I'm not acting, I'm not eating, right? That's how I made my money. So I got to a point where I thought, all right, what can I do where I can still get to auditions if I need to, but I can pay the rent? And I was like, well,
hold on, Liam. Hold on. I just have to interrupt you just because this just in. Carolyn says, you said Tom Hardy. My brain is now full of white noise. So everything else that you're saying is actually not going in.
You've lost all the ladies. Some of the men, maybe.
Come back, ladies. Get them back. I've got some value to give, I promise. So anyway, I became a postman, right? Because I was like, look, if I finish at 12 o'clock every day, I can pay my rent. Okay. And I became a postman, and I thought it's just temporary. And then a week went by, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Wow. And I'm like, oh no, I thought this was like a temporary thing. I didn't get my big break. I didn't get another acting job. And I tell you what, I swear to God, this is true, right? And this was the straw that broke the camel's back. One day I was covering somebody else's route. I was covering someone else's round, and I'm organizing all the packages. And I look at the name on one of these packages, and it was a package for Tom Hardy because he lives in Richmond, which is where I was a postman. So all day I'm thinking, what am I going to say? I worked with this guy every day for 6 months. And by this point, like 5 years had passed. I'd like lost a lot of weight. I wasn't feeling good about myself. I was in a pretty like down, dark place. And I was thinking, what am I going to say? And I knocked on his door, and he answered the door. And I was rehearsing it in my head. And I was going to say, Tom, do you remember me? I'm Liam. I worked on the film with you. And I literally just couldn't even do it. He answered the door. Didn't even recognize me. He signed for the package, closed the door. I went home and I quit.
You didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything. I completely threw. I literally just said, I need your signature. and he gave me his signature. I went home and I quit. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I've got to do something else. And by that point, I had started to discover this thing called coaching and mindset and personal development. And I was like, this is good. This is nice. I like this. I feel nice when I involve myself in this stuff. And there was a point where I thought I could do this. I think I could help people through adversity, give them guidance, give them coaching. I went home and I quit. And from that day, I made the decision I was going to throw myself into this personal development world.
Yeah, burn the bridges type of thing, as Think and Grow Rich says, right?
Burn the bridges. And I burnt the bridges that day. I burnt the bridges. But yeah, there's a little bit of my background, and sort of long story short, how I ended up, discovering what coaching was.
At the moment, Carolyn is actually trying to look through the Richmond phone book now for Tom Hardy's address, because she's got
I know it. I know it.
If you go on his program, he might be able to disclose some information.
Carolyn, if you PayPal me 40 grand, I'll give it to you.
And so tell us about what you've set up now. Now, obviously, that's where your journey started, but where are you now with your organization, with the other two lads that you run it with?
So it's quite interesting because, that day when I quit and I was like, right, I'm going to be a coach. I became a coach. I went through various different coaching programs, became qualified, started to build my business. It started very small, right, as it does. And I was struggling at first because I didn't know the ins and outs of like how marketing worked or what I needed to do with my personal brand. I had no idea. So I was learning the hard way. But I was gradually building it and building it and building it. And this was when I was on my own. And then I got to the point after doing that for a while where I had got qualified to be able to qualify other people. So I had a very small offline training academy, very small, but it was good. It was growing. I was paying my rent. I was making money. I was building a business. And quite interestingly, when I met Lewis, who is the other founder of the Coaching Masters, Johnny came a bit later. It was such a tremendous breakthrough moment because I was explaining to him everything I was doing offline. And he had essentially an online answer for it. I was like, right, so I get everybody in a room with me. And he was like, right, that's Zoom. And I get them to come to the back of the room and they pay on their credit cards. And he's like, right, that's Stripe. And he was sort of like giving me all these bits of software. And I was like, so you're telling me I don't need to be out there in like the offline world struggling when you can help me build this thing online. Yeah. So anyway, we met. I tell you what, I swear to God, I've only just noticed this. We met February 16th.
No.
2 years ago today, we met. 2 years ago today. And I've just noticed. Thank you very much. And the Coaching Masters was born the moment we met. It was born. So what we started with is we started with one online course, which is still our like flagship product, which is a 12-week coaching accreditation program. Yeah. We started with that. And we just grew it and grew it and grew it. We grew the tribe, we grew the brand, we grew the Coaching Masters as a name. And yeah, it's snowballed in such a way. And I know why, because there's a lot of value in the course, but also we create quite a different dynamic when it comes to the coaching space, where we're just us, like we're just ourselves entirely. And I think people warm to that a lot. And
you're really truthful about the journeys that you've all been on in your backgrounds. And as I said, there is that theme of adversity through all of your lives, right, that you've all overcome. But that gives you that real experience to come from.
100%, like 100%. Like Lewis experienced a lot of adversity in his younger years. He had a very, very abusive upbringing, and he wound up in prison. He completely was like moving in a direction that was not in any way going to serve him or his life. He went to a young offenders institute, then went to prison as an adult. And it was through that experience that he discovered coaching and did just a complete 180 and transformed his life completely. And for me, it was, I had become a coach because I wanted to do something fulfilling. I wanted to run a business. I wanted to help people. But it was actually my adult years after I had become a coach. I was caught up really badly in the London Bridge terror attacks in 2017. And then very soon after that, I lost my dad to suicide. And it was like, bang, bang, just two like knockout blows in a short time. But through all of that, it proved to me the power of my own coaching and what I was teaching. And Lewis had proven to him the power of coaching because it dragged him through this place of darkness. So I think because we come at it from those angles, people do resonate with us quite a lot because we're just very open about the journey.
And
you're real, that's what it is.
Yeah, sort of one of the things that Kelly and I always say around running a speaker, author, coach business is the fact that, sort of we talk about lighthouses, the person at the center of the business is the light in the business, but that light really does come from having had some kind of epiphany 9 times out of 10 that actively then puts them at the heart of the business. And, that's always what we talk about. And so, one of the things I think we like about you is that that's exactly what where you've come together. But I think it's also this whole idea around the collaborative. It isn't actually as hard as you think to find somebody else / to somebody else's that you might actually work with that have the same kind of vision, that has the same kind of direction in that way. So yeah, it's
true.
Just a testament to that.
That is so true. Like I feel in many respects, I manifested Lewis into my life, and he feels similar with me. And I remember before I met him, I would stop and just sort of deeply think about how much I would love to have a business partner. I was very lonely at the time. Building my business was a lonely venture. I was working from home on my own. It was a lovely amount of freedom, but it was lonely. And so, and I was thinking, I'd love to have a business partner that's got my same values and has got my level of drive. And it came about where, I can't remember if it was he messaged me or I think I messaged him on Instagram because I saw that he was like a young coach. He was dynamic. He was fun. And I messaged him and I just said, look, there's no agenda to this message. I just want to send you a message of appreciation and say, I love what you do. And he messaged me back straight away and was like, we need to meet up and have a chat. And at this time, I'd literally just lost my dad. His twin brother was in hospital, dying of cancer. And I was with him all the time. And I was like, sorry, mate, it's not a good time for me. I've got to try to sort my head out. And Lewis was quite persistent. And he was like, look, mate, let's have a coffee. Let's have a chat. Even if we spend the whole time just talking about your dad. And I was like, yeah, brilliant. And he came around my apartment at the time on the 16th of February, 2 years ago. And we started working together that day.
Great.
It's amazing. And I know we're aligned in the fact that, we talk a lot to our members about the importance of having a portfolio-based business. So, hang on a minute, Helena. I think I can hear myself in your feedback. You might need to change your mute or something. And so in that respect, what we talk about is that people having a range of products in different formats. So, speaker, author, and coaching, that involves, the physical thing that you sound like you were, which then you had the online version. So whether you're doing training events, could you turn that to an online course as well as do the live event? And so with the people that you've worked with in the coaching world, how have you seen having an online course has helped them in their business, their growth? What has it done for them?
Well, I tell you who's a great example of that. We are actually a tremendous example because, we are two coaches, or with Johnny, of course, 3 coaches that have now managed to scale up our business to such a dramatic extent just because of online courses. Right. Because, of course, it's very it's so fulfilling, as you guys know, working with people one-on-one as a coach, but it's not very scalable. There's a cap. It's not scalable because of the limitation on your time. Yeah. And it's not that scalable in terms of the amount of money you make unless you get to the point where you're charging hundreds of thousands of dollars for a coaching session, like some of the big boys. But it's like, so a course I have found is without a doubt the most tremendous way of taking that knowledge, taking that wisdom, taking that value, taking the ability to be able to help people with whatever it is you do and do it on scale, do it to the masses. And I think there's something very special about living in this world where we have this technology, where we can reach so many people across the world. We can share them. I mean, look at this. You guys have introduced me to StreamYard. I'll now, without a doubt, utilize this platform to reach more people because I'm thinking, now I can go live not only in one of the groups, but all of them. And you've taught me that. So there's more reach. And an online course is that. It's about more reach. How can you reach more people with your value?
I think we, that's one of the things that, we find people get stuck in that swapping time for money scenario. If they want to scale, not everybody wants to scale, but we've seen it, especially, last 18 months with COVID, that actually having the digital resources that allow people to sustain hardship. You can get, once you get the funnel set up and you understand your metrics, you can really pretty much predict your income on a monthly basis, which helps with cash flow. It helps with all of those sleepless nights. It's a place that houses your IP, it houses your legacy, and it allows, as you said, you to scale because there's no geographic limitations, there's no time limitations. And it basically, especially for, it sounds like you've got the flagship course, which is a thing that you started with. But even if you had small courses that are actually part of your user journey that get people into your world, there are so many ways that you can use online courses that it for us, it's an essential piece of having a portfolio-based business.
Definitely.
So, and I know there's some people that are watching which are interested in, you know, creating the course, I know we're very much talking about the launching side of it today, but I will also put in there for people the link if you want to actually create your online courses, that we obviously have the Deliver Digitally course ourselves that a lot of our audience have been through. Some of them have created a course in 2.5 weeks and sold it on the 3rd week and gone. It's been you know, a real quick turnaround.
And interestingly, that was actually, and again, we are doing our best between the three of us to actually highlight that an idea can absolutely have legs, take off, and get done in a very short space of time in a really professional manner. Because Kelly and I, as soon as COVID hit, you know, the idea of so in March, you know, sort of when the very first kind of lockdowns happened, certainly here in the UK, we actively created the How to Deliver Digitally course in 2.5 weeks across 2 houses, and actively, you know, needed to just put something in front of people that allowed them to have that experience of, how do I go online with ease? How do I supplement and indeed, as we say, that word sustainably, support myself in a slightly different way from what I actively had?
Oh, you're absolutely correct, and especially with what's going on in the world at the moment, you know, we feel very strongly that the world was moving in this direction anyway, but COVID just accelerated the journey. People were moving online, people were looking for a new opportunity, they wanted to be able to work for themselves, deliver value to other people, offer their knowledge, have that freedom. But you know, it was still the kind of, before COVID, it was like, yeah, I understand how it works. It's a great idea, but maybe one day I'll look into it. One day. And then COVID comes along and says, no, that's today. And you haven't got a choice. It has to be today.
And so here comes the question, and Tosin's question is perfectly placed for me to ask this question, because, you know, you've obviously done really well with this. We've obviously done some of that as well. So, you know, many of our network have either created online courses themselves and then find it hard to sell them, or like Tosin saying, is it better to create the course and drive traffic to it afterwards, which is what I see a lot of people doing afterwards. So let us pick your brains here. Can you give us some secrets to really launching, because this is the piece that people really want, to launching an online course?
Definitely. So all I can do, of course, is give you it from what my perspective and what's worked for us. It may differ maybe to what you guys do, and it may differ to what some of the viewers do. But again, that's all I can offer. The
more the merrier. Like, you know, sort of any idea, a little bit like us putting StreamYard in front of you, you're now going to take that and run with it. So, you know, sort of everyone will take what they take, right?
Precisely. So I'll tell you the exact structure that we followed in the Coaching Masters. We've now reached a point where we generate over $150,000 a month, and that's only in online course sales. And I'll tell you step by step how we've done it. So what we do is we have got a very, very, very firm rule that we do not create the course until we've sold it. So the way in which we do that is, if there is a course, and the thing is, everybody listening to this, one thing I really want everybody to know as well is it doesn't necessarily have to be a course around coaching or even speaking or mindset. You can create a course on anything that you have a skill set in. You could create a course on dog grooming, on baking, car maintenance.
Liam, when we used to work really closely with Groupon, and actually the most popular Groupon online course was on candle making. Right.
And you know what? And you think about this as well, guys. Well, I tell you what really amazes me as well in terms of the opportunity, and I promise I'll loop back around to the answer. But I was talking to a very, very famous baker recently, right? And I'm doing an interview with this person in a few days' time, so I'll let you guys know who it is soon. But when I was talking to this person, and I'd given them the idea of creating an online course to help people teach them how to bake from home during the pandemic, it was like a revolutionary idea. It was like I had just offered up gold to this person.
You just invented gravity.
I just invented gravity, and I was like, this is amazing to me, because it's like, you have a skill set, you've got a gigantic following, you've got authority with your blue tick, and you're famous, and everyone comes to you because you're very colourful in the baking world. And you have an opportunity here to teach people how to do that from home. And it didn't even cross your mind. It didn't even cross. So everyone listening to this, if you're good at baking, dog grooming, car maintenance, candle making, you know, you have value. And I'll tell you another thing as well. If you find it easy, don't underestimate that power. because people seem to think, oh, but it's easy. Everyone can do it. It's easy. No. There's people will pay for that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, what we did, of course, our knowledge and skill set was in coaching, right? We had the qualifications to qualify people as coaches. So naturally, that was our go-to place for creating a course.
Yeah.
But before creating any of it at all, we created an idea of what the syllabus was going to be, right? So at this point, we just knew what was going to be in week 1, week 2, week 3, and we knew it was going to be a 12-week course. Then what we do is we go into communities, right? Much like this one, in fact, right? We would go into communities where we know that there are coaches, and we would simply ask people, if you were going to do a course which would qualify you as a coach or teach you how to up-level your coaching skills, or maybe give you a beginner's introduction into coaching, what would you want to see? What would you expect to see? What would be a deal breaker for you in terms of, if that's on the syllabus, I have to buy it. Mm-hmm. And if that's not on the syllabus, I'm not really interested. So we survey and we survey and we survey, and we get to a point where we've surveyed so much that then we know exactly what people want. Yeah. So then what we do is essentially we create a sales page around that course and we sell it. So we go to the people, we go to the coaches, and we're like, we've got this course, right, coming up in a month's time. It's 12 weeks. This is the syllabus. We know people want it because they've told us they want it. We know we've perfected the syllabus because it's based on what they've said. Yeah. Then, and only once enough people have actually bought the course, then we create the course. And the way we do it is we deliver it live. So, and this is another kind of misconception I want to crush, is I feel like a thing that people get paralyzed by is they think it needs to be this like massive production value, amazing camera, great lens, good lighting. And people are like, how am I going to afford that? How am I going to organize that? We make $150,000 a month on online courses, and every single one of our courses is recorded on Zoom. Everyone. Wow. And using software like this, a ring light. I've got this little ring light in front of me, which cost me like 20 quid. But you know what? The content of the course is so valuable that is why no one cares what lens we use. No one cares what laptop we're recording it on. No one cares what the lighting is, because the content's so good. So we get everyone on the Zoom call and we deliver it live. And then the recording of that then becomes the evergreen product. So we have one live training, which eventually becomes a recording. And we have live workshops, which are facilitated by our facilitators. Yeah. And I tell you the best thing about doing that as well, by doing it that way, you can also survey people as the course is unfolding. Yeah. So you're getting your feedback. Yeah, go for it.
Just speaking about that, Patricia's just saying, yes, but how many people in the survey? So this is referring back to when you were saying originally you've got the syllabus out, and so how many people you survey?
Sure.
It would be nice for people to know, as Patricia said, that what's the amount of people that you sort of say, okay, we've got enough data now, but also how many people do you have that have bought the course that then makes you actually decide that you're going to go live and then start delivering it?
Brilliant questions. I love that. Thanks, Patricia. That's really good. So honestly, when it comes down to both of those things, it's personal preference. So you might feel more, you might have person A who surveys 10 people, gets 10 answers, and they're fueled with confidence. They're like, that's it, I know what to do. Person B might feel like they need to survey 100 people. So I know it's like I'm kind of doing a little bit of a politician there and sort of answering the question without answering it, but it is actually genuinely true. So I couldn't say to you 46, that's the number 46, because you might feel completely comfortable after 10 and you might feel like you get what you need. And
but isn't it right? But Liam, if 10 people were saying very similar answers in the survey, then you've probably you've got your answer. If you've got 40 people that are all saying that they want different stuff, then maybe you need to do more and more and more to start getting, what it is you need to do.
Exactly.
And also I think there's a part of this that's also around, if you're getting a lot of disparate answers, that may mean you've gone too broad. Because I think one of the things that Kelly and I find when we're working with people, when we're helping them create their courses, etc., is that they maybe go too broad, or they try to pack in too much into a course. Yes. So actually sometimes going specific can actually really help as well.
That is so spot on. That really is. And another trap I see a lot of people falling into is they and I don't know whether it's this sort of human thing that we have where we have to show everybody how much we know, or they're genuinely sort of underestimating their own abilities. But a lot of the time people make it too complicated as well. And they pour in their expertise into this course to the point where your person who wants the beginner course, or they want an introductory to this topic, will read it and think, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about.
I didn't even know that I needed that, you know.
Yeah. Start with the basics.
And we are aligned, Liam, because, you know, when we teach people how to put online courses together, we use a method that when I work really closely with John and Jeff Walker, so and you might know about product launch, but they have a concept called seed launching, where you get, rather than actually putting the syllabus together, you talk about the key topics that might be in your course, and then you get all the questions that they've got in their head, in their language, coming back to you. So again, it's not just about the course, it's their language, which is so important.
That is actually key.
This is where we've had it, where people have done how to do Facebook Live courses, and the actual answer that came back was, where do I look on? And they're like, oh my God, that's so basic. I wouldn't have even put that in the course, because isn't that just common knowledge? And that's where you're saying about, you've got to get the market research, you've got to get the insight, and you've got to do it at their level of what they're wanting.
I'll tell you another absolutely key reason for that, and you just touched on this, Kelly, as well, is a lot of people are like, but then how do I create a sales page? The survey answers, that is your sales page. That's your future customers, future students. That's their words, it's their language, it's their objections, it's their questions, it's what gets them excited. And you use their own language to create this sales page to talk about the course. So yeah, that's key as well.
Yeah, and that kind of leads us back into the launch in and of itself. That research lends itself to launching well, right? So come on, spill the beans. What else? What other juicy things have you got for people that helps them sell their courses?
So honestly, guys, like with that, even just what we've covered so far, I can promise you will have more of a successful launch because you've done that legwork, right? And to sort of touch on what was asked before, like what's the number of buyers, like how many students you need? Again, it's personal preference. Like you could have a course that's, you know, we do ours in dollars because there's a lot of like students across the ocean, across the pond, as I say. And but like say it's $1,000 and you have 10 people buy the course and you made $10,000 on a course.
Yeah,
that could be incredibly juicy for a lot of people, where they think, well, you know what, for that $10,000, I am now more than happy and more than willing to turn up twice a week to deliver this training via Zoom for 2 hours over the 12-week period. You might have someone, but there needs to be a progression. When we first sold our course, the very, 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 very first time, I think we did make about $10,000. And now, if we made $10,000 on one launch, we would be very upset, and we probably would have progressed with the course. But that's not where we've been the entire time. That's not where
it's relative. Yeah,
it's relative. You've got to grow, right? You've got to grow. So that's really key. Like the starting blocks are very, very, very key. Know your superpower. Know what you're good at, and do not ever underestimate that, because what you're good at, there's 100, 200, 1,000, 10,000 people out there that want to know how you do it.
Yeah.
Go out there, find those people. They exist in groups, right? Facebook groups, in LinkedIn as well. They're very open about who they are on Instagram. You've just got to go and find these people, and you've got to just talk to them, right? You've just got to talk to them. You've got to survey them. You've got to find out what you need. Put together that syllabus for the course, and also give something significant away for free, right? Give something significant. So don't go straight from surveying people to nothing to then to trying to sell them this course. You've surveyed them, you get to know them, you get to know what they want. Put together something highly valuable for free, maybe a 1-day training, a 2-day training, whether it's pre-recorded, whether it's live. Just something that's very, very key is you need to get people fully understanding that you are an expert and you are the person to learn from. They're not going to just take your word for it, right? You've got to prove it.
We call it earning the right, Liam.
Earning the right.
Earn the right to be able to then teach them. Because if you start going into listen to me, and they're like, well, who are you, first of all? And then show me some evidence before I start even spending £1 with you. Give me some value, give me some evidence. And, you know, you're not going to please everybody. We love people being Marmite. We don't like people being vanilla. If they don't like your style, if they don't like your setup, if they don't like your content, then great. But you've got to be really strong and convincing of that this is what you want to do, and show the value before you actually give the value.
For sure. And it's so key to get at least a group of people on that first course, right? Because the first course is the most important, without a doubt. You know, don't forget, you've pre-sold it, so there's nothing to lose. But it's so important because that's where you get your testimonials. That's where you refine your content. That's where you start to build up a bit of a family and a bit of a tribe. And then that's when you then have a lot to work with when you then go to sell it the second time. Like, still to this day, you know, we might play around with the idea of changing it slightly. You know, we're always looking to progress, but we run all of our courses in 3-month cohorts. Right. We still do that. So in order to join our accreditation course, you've got to start at the beginning, which starts off live, right? It's partly live, part pre-recorded content, part live workshop. And then you can't join it again until 3 months have passed. So it's key to do that first one, because a lot of that content and those testimonials and stuff will help you then launch the second one. And you'll be able to launch the second one a lot more successfully because you've got some weight behind you now.
And I think that's part. Go on then.
No. I was just going to say, I'll put the link to the coaching masters in the comments, so people are interested in becoming a coach. If they're not a coach already, it might be a route for them to go down as well. And were you going to read Tosin's question out?
Yeah, I was. You know, sort of, because I think it links very nicely into what we're talking about. And Tosin, you may not like it because it's a how long is a piece of string kind of answer that's probably going to come from all three of us. But let's go with this. So, do you need a large following to make money from online courses?
Yeah, and actually I might interject in that one because it corresponds with the question that I wanted to ask you actually. Was actually, a lot of people go, do I need, they say this, like, I've got my course, or I've pre-done my course. Do I need this large following? And if I haven't got that, how do I get that? And so my question is, and I know the answer because we're doing it right now, but how important do you find working in partnerships, whether that's joint ventures, affiliates, sponsorship? We're one of your partners here today, right? We're here bringing you to a community of nearly 10,000 people, telling them all about you, even though you've got a large following. How can other people do that, and how important is partnership?
I love that question. I love it because it's so important for a few different reasons. In terms of you as an individual having a large following, if that is required to build an online course, my answer to that is no. You as an individual don't need a large following in any way, because you can partner up with people that do. Now, think about this again. I'm all about the openness and transparency. You guys have got 9,500 people in your group, right? That is an incredible place, right? That's an incredible hub. And I'm talking about the Connection Hub, of course. That's an incredible hub of people that have said, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I'm a course creator, I'm in this personal development realm, right? So partnering up with people that have a large following is really, really key, because what you're able to do, as long as you're both adding value to each other's lives and you both can complement each other in your skill sets, you can step into somebody else's large following in order to talk about what it is you do. Exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing that right now. I'm in your front room right now with you guys who are the mums of the front room, and you know, and all of these people in here are your babies, and we're adding value to them together as a team, as a collective. So
and tell them, Liam, how that happened, because I think it's really a lot of people think, oh yeah, but they've known each other for years, they went to school together. She was on stage with Tom Hardy.
yes. Helena would have liked to have been on stage with Tom Hardy. Like, she would have liked to have met you kind of, you know, in that environment. That would have been quite close to with all the others.
I'll DM his address to you, Kelly. So so that's exactly it, right? Because to sort of branch off that question, do you need a big following? No, but being able to build relationships, that's key, right? That's really key. Like that's something that I truly believe it would actually, I don't want to go as far as to say impossible, but I think it would be difficult.
Really, let's put it that way.
Very difficult to launch any form of successful business, whether it be an online course, if you don't have the ability to be personable and build relationships. And I tell you where I truly believe that needs to come from when it comes to the online course space. You don't need to be absolutely packed with charisma. You don't need to be a showman. You don't need to be the greatest speaker in the world, but you need to be very confident in what it is you teach on that online course. Because if you are an expert in that field and you know that content inside out, upside down, you can step in front of any person and talk about it with passion and with interest and with insight, because it's what you do. So to loop round to Tosin's question, don't focus so much on, right, I need to build a big following here. Start with thinking, where is my value? What is my superpower? How can I add value to other people's lives? And then go on a mission to talk to other community leaders about that idea. Because much like with you guys, we got connected. I sent Helena an Instagram DM and I was like, Helena, love what you've done with the Connection Hub. You've built a really good space there. I think we should have a chat. We jump on a Zoom call, we have a chat. And then it's a case of understanding, brilliant, we can really complement what each other does here.
And one of the things about that chat, just so that everyone's clear, some of that is, Kelly and I talk a lot about this. It's about being like valued. So Liam obviously was coming to me with hey, you've got a large community. And I'm like, yes, we do. And I am a mama bear with it, I am absolutely going to be protective, exactly as Liam just said, because, one of the things that Kelly and I obviously say all of the time is, you are the protector and connector within your community. We are in charge of it. We power it. We provide the space for it, but it's not our group. We're the hosts of it. But our job is also to ensure that we provide value as much as possible. So there's a like valuedness that you are looking for when people approach you as JV partners in some way, or indeed just in relationship building that you're looking for. And I think one of the things that happened for Liam and I was that, the transparency around it, I was like, okay, great. So you're looking to do this and you want to do that. And how does that work? And where are you actually at? So I'm going to say here, don't be afraid to actively ask a whole bunch of questions of that person and actually say, that bit isn't going to work for us because we do this, this, and this, or our people won't actually like that, and that, but what can you do for them kind of thing?
It's like inviting a stranger into your house. You don't just open the door and go, hey, come in, go and eat my food from my fridge and go and, raid my drawers or whatever. You're going to find out what they were. Are they, and one of the things that Helena and I talk about a lot are they like valued? Because the values bit in the Connection Hub, the culture that's there, everybody really, if you're not aligned with that culture, then you're out straight away, right?
For sure.
And so I think when you do, you're adding value here, Liam, and we've got Tosin saying she's learned so much already just by being here. And I've put the link in there for you to, again, you might not have been here at the beginning of the call, Tosin, but you can sign up to Liam's free challenge on the link above, because you've done the value here, but then you're also adding more values for people to really get to experience you. You're raising awareness of what a launch takes. Then you're going to teach them some bits in that free to actually learn some more directly from you. 100%. And this is the perfect way to build up partnerships because...
For sure.
Definitely, without a doubt. And again, in the nature of transparency, because in all honesty, it's just worked out very well for me, being open and transparent. So for everybody watching this, essentially, you're witnessing the steps here, the stages. So I couldn't possibly teach everybody every little detail required of how to launch an online course within an hour. But what I can do is step into this environment with two goals, right? Two goals are for everybody to get to know me so they can think, yep, I trust this guy. I know he knows his stuff. And for me to add a certain amount of value. So you can go away from this talk thinking there's a few things there that I can apply. And if I apply them, that's going to be incredibly useful. But then, of course, what I want everybody to do listening to this live, whether it's on the replay or whether it's live right now, is click the link that Kelly just put in the comments, because then I'm able to really teach everybody how to do this. Me and my business partners are going to spend 3 days doing this, 3 days going over how to launch a profitable online course. And that's, of course, when you get the detail.
And one of the things I really like about that is this fact of, sort of you're also demonstrating to everyone, because this happens on two levels. One, you can't fill people too full of stuff anyway. We only have to go at a certain level, because you can only take so much in a 45-minute, 50-minute session. But also, it actually prevents people from getting overwhelmed and actually makes them that little bit more aware of what's possible. And with awareness of what's possible, that's where interest actually gets piqued. So I think Tosin is about to sign up, so just so that you can see that.
Brilliant. So, I love that. And in terms of opportunity and like what's possible, you've only got to look at that Groupon course of the candle maker, being the most anything's possible as long as you add value to other people's lives. I was telling Helena about this. When I first became a coach, I was struggling. And I was a bit directionless, and I was trying to make a go of it. And I found myself in a situation where I was having this really in-depth conversation with Paul McKenna, right? Totally random. It's like a conversation for another time. And he said something to me which just completely changed the entire game for me. And he was listening to my problems, and he was listening to what I have to say. And I'm struggling with this, and I'm struggling with that. And I don't know how to go and get any more clients. And I don't know where they are. And he was like, Liam, the more value you add to other people's lives, the more money you're going to make. And I realized in that moment, I was like, I'm so focused on how much money can I make? How many holidays can I go on? Get. Can I build a big business? Can I buy a lovely house? And I was like, I'm not even focused on adding value to people's lives.
Yeah.
And I completely shifted my whole mindset. And now it's all I think about. Yeah. And as a byproduct of that, my business has just gone boom, 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 and grown and grown.
A lot of reciprocity.
That's right. How it 100%. Works.
Definitely. So that's everybody listening to this. Just think, where can I add value to people's lives? Yeah. And I tell you where, it's within the things that you find very easy. That's where you can add a lot of value.
And the difference, I think, and this is what comes through for how you three work in the very humane way, is that when you're finding partners, please don't do that. Send everybody an email and see what sticks. It's about relationships. It's about getting to know people. It's about adding value, not what can I get from your community, but what can I give to your community? Right. What do you need? But pick up the phone, guys, right? Or Zoom, whatever it might be. Have the conversations, because that's really where, if I got an email, which is literally a copy and paste that I got from 10 other people that week, I just know they're in it for the commission and the affiliate stuff. And the toaster's laughing. Yeah. But this is because there's a value here, and we believe you, and we're valued. Yeah. It's not just that I'm doing this and seeing how much money I can make from my community. So please be human about stuff.
Definitely. Don't you guys hate it when you get a message that says, "Hey," it doesn't even have your name in it. It's not even your name. It's absolutely absurd, isn't it? I couldn't even imagine entertaining a message like that, some blanket message like that. You know what, guys? Honestly, the power of the voice note is so powerful. Sure. That's how I got in touch with Helena. I sent her a voice note, and it's you, it's there, it's individual. Not only is it really useful because you can do it on the move, honestly, the amount of voice notes I send when I'm bouncing my daughter on my knee and I'm literally just on my phone and I'm shooting voice notes all day. I'm building amazing relationships with people whilst I'm looking after my daughter, and people hear my voice. I'm addressing them directly. I'm talking about something that they have got what they've got going on. I'm like, Helena, you've got the connection up, and it's an amazing place. I've gone in there. I've seen these people posting. You got to make a personal connection with people. You got to show people that much respect that you're going to actually create a personal connection with them.
Yeah. And in fact, Patricia's literally just saying that's why Clubhouse is so popular, because it's the voice, right? Yeah. And you actually capture that. I obviously can't speak to that as much as Kelly can, because that's Kelly's domain.
When I'm not got shingles, like at the moment, I am on it quite a lot. But the last week, I haven't been on Clubhouse at all.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm on it. I've not used it yet. I've been told that I should merge into that world. But it's interesting, isn't it? You know what it's like when you're super busy and something new comes along. It's like you can see that it actually would be very worthwhile to properly jump into it, but sometimes there's a lot of power in staying focused on what you've got going on as well.
For sure. You need to make
clear
room
to your metrics, and then if you've got extra time I'm exploring, because Helena's on Android at the moment. So, but we will have rooms later on, but it's just about building the network and and listening.
Yeah.
But then making sure the next quarter, it goes into the strategy, then doesn't distract from our quarter of what we've got at the moment. Tosin's saying exactly.
So I'm aware that, and I kind of expected this to happen because like valued people do like to actually talk about things that they love. And so, this is something dear to all of our hearts. So I'm aware that, we've talked about your launch and it's definitely aimed at the course creators. In a nutshell, just tell us a tiny little bit about it, just so that we can really entice people, and then we can make sure that we let them know where to find you. Although I think they probably know that.
Definitely, yeah. So these 3 days, they are going to be jam packed. So again, it's February 23rd, 24th, and 25th, and there is a link that Kelly's put in the description. So me, Johnny, and Lewis, you're going to be able to work with us directly live for those 3 days. We're going to be turning up a lot in the group. We're going to be delivering the training, and the entire focus of the training is how you make these online courses profitable, because you can package up your value, right? You can have the best will in the world and want to serve lots and lots of people. The best way that you can do that is by actually making money from these courses. Because if you can make money from the courses, you can then do it again. You can improve it. You can repackage it. You can send it off to a different community. You can reach more people and add more value. So making it profitable is very, very important. We make no bones about this at the Coaching Masters. We talk about this a lot. I want to make as much money as I possibly can whilst helping as many people as I can. And I'm proud of that. And I want that to be my mission. I want to make a lot of money, help a lot of people. So we're going to teach you how to make money from your course. That's what we're going to do over those 3 days.
I'm sure you won't get any complaints about that, Liam, at all, right?
Nope, not at all.
Imagine. I'm not interested in that. No way.
But we do know that a lot of people don't like to ask for money. And it's one of those things when you're in an expert position, sometimes they're philanthropic wise, they're like, oh, I just want to give it away. But actually, you can serve more when you have more as well. It's not saying you wait till you have more, but it can happen as a byproduct at the same time, synergistically. And I think the way that, you're going to be teaching over these next 3 days is just going to give people the confidence and the insight to do that.
Yes, definitely.
And it's not like an afterthought. So, you're going to cover so much, which is going to get people. I think that the shifting point I think that people have after this training with you is just that confidence.
Yeah.
That they've got the roadmap, they've got the insight, they've got the belief that they've got something good here and they know what to do next in order to actually make it profitable and make it.
And dare I say it, the permission as well, because I think there is something about, we are actively, we bang on about this all the time. It's like, it's definitely about building a business on your terms. And part of that is making sure that you have, is it a lifestyle business? Is it a multi-million pound, or dollar empire in some way? You get to choose. But it definitely, Stephen Wilkenhoff said this one thing. If you like dry, boring material, absolutely go and read Stephen Wilkenhoff. If you don't, just listen to this one thing that he said whilst I was actually in there. Sorry, Stephen, if you're listening. But, that's really how it works. So he said the purpose of a business is to make money. And that actually did get a lot of people sort of sitting up because there were some holistics in the room and that sort of thing. And then he said, what you do with that money is the thing that you actively work with. But the purpose of a business is an entity. I always talk about there's you and there's your business, and you serve your business and the business serves you. But the purpose of the business, the entity that is the business, is to make money. And then you get to choose whether you give it to monkey refuges or, sort of however you spend your money.
I don't know.
The business spends it.
It's so true. That is so true. And I don't know the exact link, but if you go on our website, which is thecoachingmasters.com, there's a drop down. And what's the link? I think it's like /charity or something like that. And go and look at all of the ventures that we put all of our money into, right? We make a lot of money at the Coaching Masters. We put a lot of it into good causes. And you're absolutely right, Helena, because and could we do that if we were penniless and made no money? We couldn't do that. Couldn't help anyone. Of course, you can give your time. Of course, you can give your attention, and it's very commendable. But as well as that, I would like to go and be able to take £500 worth of food to a food bank, or I'd like to be able to go and do something for a children's hospital and give a donation. So I at the end of our courses, when we've got our students saying, because we do a graduation at the end of every course, and it's really nice because everyone gets dressed up, we pop champagne, play some music, and a lot of the time people are in tears and they're saying it's one of the best experiences they've ever had. And at the end, we always say, are you happy that we sold to you? How happy are you that we sold you this course? And everyone's like, well, I'm so happy you sold me the course because I've met some of my best friends. I've had these breakthroughs. I've got my qualification. And we want to remind people that's what we did. Don't forget, we didn't give it to you. We sold it to you. You gave us your money for this, and it's worthwhile. So never forget those transactions. They are very much worthwhile as long as the content is super, super valuable.
Yeah, it's that exchange of energy, isn't it? Which is so important. And I know we've been going for an hour, Liam, so we really appreciate your time. We know you're in the Connection Hub. If people want questions, they can tag you in there. Yes. Obviously in this live, if you're watching this on the replay, do hashtag replay, and also keep asking questions. Liam will answer these, even if it's a year down the line. We'll still tag him and he'll answer. And other than that, I've put the website up there for people to see those philanthropic links, but also just to learn more about you, and also the link for them to go into the free training. But where do you like to hang out, Liam? Are you a LinkedIn person, a Facebook person? How can people connect with you?
I am 100% an Instagram person. I'm like, that's my place. That's my thing. So yeah, my Instagram handle is @liam.james.collins. That's @liam.james.collins. If you're on Instagram, go and follow me. And
feel your baby pictures.
Seriously, you will definitely see baby pictures and all sorts. But he's a doting dad. She's 11 weeks old.
You will 100% see a lot of stories with me and my baby girl. But yeah, come and follow me, guys, and yeah, connect with me there. But of course, definitely join that free training that we're doing over those 3 days. So click that link. I think it's coachingmasters.com/speaker insight. 3 days of free training. Come and join us. We're delivering it live. It's going to be big.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Really good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, hold on a second. Oh, my fingers just missed the button.